Thank you. I'm excited to be here. Hello
Awesome.
to everybody. Thanks to Traders Talk for having me, and thanks everybody for joining. Please grab a pen and paper. I've got a lot of good information to go through. This is all actionable stuff you'll be able to use after our time together today to improve your trading. We're going to be talking about how to use one indicator to predict the markets. I'm going to show you guys how you can be on the right side of the trade the vast majority of the time, regardless of what market you trade. We probably have a lot of different types of traders on today, whether you trade options, futures, stocks, Forex. We're going to be looking at all of it. So we've got a lot to cover. I'm going to go ahead and get into it. We'll get through the boring stuff first. Make the attorneys happy. I got to read you my disclaimer, which is that trading securities and options involves risk. Prior to buying or selling an option, an investor must receive a copy of characteristics and risks of standardized options. Investors do need a broker to trade securities and options and must meet suitability requirements. Past results are not necessarily indicative of future performance. The performance figures that we show are based on actual trades, and due to the time-critical nature of trading, brokerage fees, and other activity of other subscribers, there's no guarantee that subscribers will mirror the performance of the services, and performance numbers shown are based on trade subscribers could enter based on the trade alerts. All right, got that out of the way. Let's get to the fun stuff. So what are we going to be covering in our time together today? We'll spend about 45 minutes together, and I'm going to show you how you can use one indicator to predict markets in any time frame. I'm going to show you the correct way to use the indicator to make money in the markets. Okay, there's always a correct way and an incorrect way, right? And I'm going to show you exactly when to buy and sell, so it's very clear to you. And then I'm going to show you how to identify when momentum is shifting and a new trend is starting. And this is going to work for stocks, futures, Forex, and options with consistency. So again, regardless of what market you're trading or what strategy you're trading, it can work very well. I'm going to show you some actual live trade examples. And then lastly, I'll show you how you can get my trade signals on the house. I think you guys are really going to love that, and you're going to be excited when you see what I have for you. So I want you to imagine if you could have predicted every major market sell-off in 2018. Just out of curiosity, quick X in the chat box if you guys could let me know if you were trading last year during 2018 at any point in any market, whether it was options, stocks, futures. Let me know if you guys were trading back then. Looks like probably quite a few of you. Some people were unfortunately probably taken out of the market in some of those choppy conditions, some of the volatility. John says, yes, I was trading last year. Jimmy says, yeah, I was trading futures. Okay, so regardless of what market you were trading, it was a tough time, right? It was one of the more volatile markets we've seen in decades. And I'm going to show you guys how you could have actually predicted the four major market sell-offs that occurred in 2018. And not only that, how you could have made some good money with them. And I'm going to show you how I did that. All right, so the one indicator that we're going to focus on today actually predicted every correction last year, all four of them. Not only that, it predicted the flash crash of 2015 an entire day before it happened. It predicted the 10% correction in October 2014, 2 weeks before that sell-off occurred. It predicted the crash in July of 2011, several days before the bears began driving prices into the ground. It also predicted the major sell-off in 2008 when the market lost more than half its value. How many of you guys were trading way back in 2008? Just an X in the chat box there. Probably not as many as last year, I would venture to guess. Yeah, definitely not as many X's in the chat box on that one. I was trading back in 2008. It was a really crazy time in the market, right? So I'm going to show you guys how this one indicator actually could have predicted these corrections. So this isn't an anomaly. It's not a one-off. This actually works long-term. It's worked decades in the past and will continue to work decades into the future. So this is a chart of the S&P 500, ticker SPX. It's a daily chart. And what I'm going to do is highlight the periods of time where we saw these sell-offs occur. So it looks like a lot of you were trading last year. You probably remember these. The first one occurred in the latter part of January into February of 2018. We topped out around 2,900 on the S&P, and we saw roughly a 10% sell-off into the 200-day moving average. Then we kind of went into some choppy conditions there until we saw another big correction, another reversion to that 200-day moving average, topping out at 2,800 on the S&P, and then reverting back to the mean. Then we go into a pretty nice uptrend, right? It became relatively easy to make money again in the market until October hit, and there's another one. So this time we actually traded significantly below the 200-day moving average. This one really freaked a lot of traders out, shook a lot of people out of the market. Unfortunately, a lot of people lost a lot of money. Hundreds of millions of dollars were lost in these sell-offs just from retail traders alone. And then the last one in December was really severe. We topped out around 2,800 on the S&P and sold off all the way into the $2,300 level. So this was a really, really bad one. And so if you were trading again last year, I'm sure you remember that. But let me show you how I did in 2018 using the strategy that I'm going to show you, using that one indicator, okay? So I normally don't do this. This is something that I'm doing because I do believe in providing proof of what's possible. You know, anyone can throw up trades in an Excel spreadsheet or whatnot, but I'm going to actually show you live screenshots of my brokerage account during that time period in December, okay? So these are all and not just December, but all the market corrections from last year, all 4 of them. Okay, and I want to show you how I did. I trade all markets. I trade stocks, options, Forex, futures. These are my futures trades, and nothing crazy here, guys. These are just one contract trades. I tend to have about 5 to 10 trades open at a time. But over $8,000 in a single day using the indicator I'm going to show you. Over $6,500 in a single day. Okay, these are during these volatile market conditions where, you know, people are freaking out and they're losing money. And this is what's possible, guys, if you can predict these moves ahead of time. Over $5,400 in a single day. Okay, this is live money. These are my actual screenshots from my actual brokerage account. These are not simulated. They're not paper trades. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys how this is possible here in just a minute. If you haven't been exposed to my training in the past, I just want to give you a little bit of quick background on myself. I do have about 20 years of experience trading the stock, options, and Forex, futures and Forex markets. I've received professional training at Morgan Stanley, and I'm also the founder and chief investment strategist of the Trading Profit LLC. We currently have over 17,000 members worldwide who we've trained and coached to become better, more profitable, consistent traders. And the reason that I became a professional trader, why do I trade for a living? Well, really, it's to achieve freedom, and not necessarily, you know, financial freedom. That's a big part of it, but more so time freedom. I want to be able to spend my time doing what I want to do with my time. I want to spend time with my family. I love to do things in the outdoors. I love fishing and golfing and traveling. And that's really why I trade. All the strategies that I trade, the techniques that I use afford me that. And they allow me to only spend 10 to 15 minutes a day on my trading ventures, and then I can go be free to do what I want with the rest of my time. So that's the real reason I trade. And I'm also the founder and creator of the Trade Trend Signal software, which I'll give you some details on here a little bit later in our session. So how did I get started? Well, for me, it all started with a summer school class back in junior high. I got an early exposure to the trading world. This was actually before Al Gore invented the internet. So if you wanted to get information on the markets, you had to do so through publications like Investors Business Daily. So I remember the summer school class that I took, and I remember the teacher handing out a copy of Investors Business Daily. And I remember him instructing us to turn to the stock page where it had all the current day's closing stock prices. And he wanted us to pick out a stock that we would follow for that week. All right. And so I did that, and I happened to pick Western Digital Corporation, ticker WDC, and I followed the stock, and sure enough, each day it was going up, and I thought, wow, this is incredible. If I had actually put money into this, I'd be making money right now. You know, I was only 12, 13 at the time, and I thought, wow, this is really easy. But it really wasn't easy, because he then told us, okay, now pick 4 or 5 more stocks. So each week we'd pick new stocks, and unfortunately, they didn't all go up. And I thought, well, why did some of these go up and why did others not go up? I don't get it. I don't understand why this is happening. So there were certainly some successes, but there were many more failures, right? So I'm sure we've all been there. And nowadays, it's the access to information with the internet is much more robust, so it's easier to get information, but trading is still difficult, okay? And that's what I'm gonna try to make easier for you guys today. So by the end of our session, you're going to discover how you can use one special indicator, and I'm sure many of you have heard of this indicator, or maybe even used it, but maybe you haven't used it the right way. But it is available on virtually any trading platform, and I'm going to show you how you can use it to predict market moves. And the cool thing is it works for stocks, it works for options, it works for futures, it works for Forex, anything that produces a chart. And once you learn the correct way to use it, I promise you, you won't look at markets or trading the same way again. It's that powerful. So you'll discover why momentum is so vital to trading success. You're going to discover how to read momentum shifts and continuations, and I promise this will completely turn your trading around, and how to use momentum as a leading indicator, not a lagging indicator, right? We've all heard indicators are all lagging, right? They use past market data, and using them in live trading is ineffective. And unfortunately, that's predominantly true, but there are a select set of momentum indicators that actually provide leading data, and I'm going to make the case for that here in just a second for you. And then I'll show you how momentum can predict market moves, okay? It's pretty powerful and incredible once you see this in action. And then I'll show you how you can get your hands on a tool that will change your trading forever. And I don't say that lightly, I mean that with complete sincerity. And the reason I do is because I use it myself in my own trading. I use it to make a living in the markets. So I stand by it because I do actually use it personally. So you're probably wondering, why is there a bowling ball on a presentation that's related to trading? And the reason that we're going to go through this analogy surrounds momentum. So I want you guys to imagine, just put an X in the chat box if you've ever bowled at some point in your life. I'm sure a lot of you have attended, a birthday party growing up. You went to the bowling alley, or maybe we even have some professional bowlers out there. Yeah, it looks like so quite a few of you have bowled at some point, right? I'm not a professional bowler by any means, not even close, but I'm going to use an analogy here that applies to the markets. So I want you to imagine if you step up to a bowling lane and you take your bowling ball and you wind the ball back, and then you release it from your hands, from your fingertips, and I know that all of you can predict what's going to happen, right? The ball is going to roll down the lane. Maybe if you're a bad bowler, it's going to go in the gutter, but regardless, it's going to roll forward, right? We don't need any special training to know what happens. The ball continues to roll until something stops it. So it's either going to roll down the gutter and hit the end of the lane, or it's going to hit the pins and you're going to knock some pins down. Hopefully you get a strike, and that's it. The ball stops. And so this is analogous to the markets because the momentum principle, and this is, by the way, referred to as linear momentum in physics. We won't get into a physics lesson. It's not the purpose, but the purpose is to tie this into the markets. The difference is the catalyst. So with the bowling ball, what forced that momentum to start is the thrust of your arm, right? The markets work in a very similar way because price charts move in a linear fashion, but the catalyst is different. It's buying and selling pressure. It's supply and demand. That's the difference. But it still creates a predictable a momentum shift or a momentum continuation, just like we see with a bowling ball. The challenge is with the markets, it's not quite as easy. You don't necessarily know which direction it's going without the right tools and information. So I want you to imagine that analogy as we go through our presentation today, because it does apply. And the difference is with the markets, the catalyst is different, like I mentioned. And so if we can predict that with some degree of accuracy, that's going to make a big difference in your trading, right? So that's what I want you guys to keep in mind. So jot that down on a piece of paper. Momentum is a key fundamental driver of what creates trends in the markets. And it actually is predictable. And I'm going to show you that here in just a second. So why is momentum so important in trading? Well, first of all, it measures the velocity of price changes compared to current price levels. That's pretty important information, right? And it's measured by continually taking price differences for a fixed time period. So basically speaking, a value above zero indicates that prices are moving up, and below zero indicates prices are going down, okay? So that's just at the most basic level. We'll get into it a little bit deeper. So the focus today, of course, is using this information, this one indicator, to predict market sell-offs. But the good news is it doesn't just work for market crashes. It also works for upward trending markets, for bull markets. So you can make money on the way up with it too, because it measures the rate of rise, not just the fall, but the rate and rise of security prices also. And for trending analysis, it's a valuable indicator of strength or weakness in the underlying securities price. So remember that bowling ball, we can predict that it's going to roll down that lane until something stops it. Well, same thing with price charts. So they're going to continue to trend until something stops the trend. So you'll see in the center of the chart here, I've got, the center of the screen, I've got a chart. This is the chart of the SPY. It's a daily chart. And on the left side of the chart, we see a market sell-off, a reversion to the 200-day moving average. And then the momentum indicator that we're going to look at today predicts the shift near the bottom, and the market turns around. Buyers are coming in and driving prices back up, and now we have a new trend to the upside. Okay, so this one incredible indicator that we're going to look at today actually pinpointed this turning point, and it can do it with stocks, futures, forex, and it can do it with astounding accuracy. And you guys, when you learn this and how to use it, will be blown away. So there are, I would venture to guess, a couple dozen momentum indicators available on most of the retail trading platforms today. I'll just go through a few of the more common ones. The first is the average directional index. And once we go through these, we'll drill down into the one that we're going to look at today in more detail and how to use it and how to apply it. Because really what it comes down to with these momentum indicators, they all have valuable information. It comes down to how you interpret that information and then how you apply it to a specific strategy and to the markets. So the first, many of you have probably seen, it's the average directional movement index, often called the ADX. And this one you can use to measure, help measure the overall strength of a trend. So it's got some valuable information, and it does have some lagging components to it, but it can be useful in live trading as well. The other is the commodity channel index. This one's called the CCI. Donald Lambert developed this one, and it measures the relation between price and normal deviations from a moving average. Sorry about that, my phone was just ringing there. Silence that. And then the third one is the MACD. I'm sure a lot of you heard of the MACD. Put a check in the chat box if you've heard of the MACD. Yeah, lots of you have heard of the MACD. This one reveals changes in the strength, direction, momentum, and duration of a trend in a stock's price. So this is a very versatile momentum indicator. All right, and then the last one that we'll look at today is the RSI, the Relative Strength Index. It's a commonly used indicator. A lot of times it's used as an overbought, oversold indicator. And really it's just used to chart the current and historical momentum strength or weakness of a security based on the closing prices over a specified period of time. So all very valuable momentum indicators, but one of these in particular does an extraordinary job at predicting market momentum shifts and continuations, and we can use it, and I'll show you how we can use it in a second, to predict market sell-offs. So that one is the MACD. Okay, so how many of you guys have used the MACD in your trading at some point? Put an X in the check box there, in the chat box there. Yeah, lots of you have used the MACD. Yeah, and so this is a commonly used one, but there are many ways to use it. May not have been using it correctly. So I'm going to show you guys a really cool way to use this. If you haven't used it or not familiar with it, it stands for Moving Average Convergence Divergence. And I'm going to show you how to use it to predict market moves. It is a momentum indicator, like I said, and it's an indicator that was developed back in the 70s by Gerald Appel, so it's been around a long time. But the reason that it's so valuable is it's very versatile, like I mentioned, and it actually reveals changes in strength, direction, momentum, and duration of a trend in price. And again, that applies to virtually any market, not just the stock market. So a lot of people will use this as a divergence indicator or an overbought, oversold. You know, there's a lot of ways to use it again, but in terms of predictive qualities, because remember, we're tying this into that analogy of the bowling ball. Once an object is set in motion, it stays in motion until something stops it. Well, that's how the MACD can be used to predict market moves. And the best way to do that is with the MACD cross. So a buy signal is generated when the MACD line crosses above the signal line, and a sell signal is generated when the MACD line crosses below the signal line. Sounds pretty simple, right? So let's take a look at that in relation to the market corrections we saw back in 2018 last year. So now I've got the same chart up. It's still the daily chart of the S&P 500, same time frame, 2018. This time I've got the MACD plotted at the bottom of the chart. And you'll notice that we had that first cross at the end of January there. And what did it tell us? Well, it's warning us that the market is going to potentially, the momentum is going to potentially shift and the market's going to sell off. Okay, and it did. It did a pretty good job at getting it right there at the top, right? It was pretty close. The next one in March, there's another cross. And the significance of where these crosses occur, that first one occurred near the 40 level, this next one near the 0 level, is important. We won't have time to get into that today, but just know that it does matter where these crosses occur. It does, the slope of the line does matter as well. So these were both steep slopes, and sure enough, we saw the steep sell-off. This was the reversion of the 200-day moving average in March, and it did a fairly good job at predicting that. It didn't get us in right at the top. If we were, using a strategy that would take advantage of this, like buying puts or shorting the market, but it did a pretty good job. It got us pretty close. The next one in October actually gave us about a week's worth of warning, that cross, and you'll see there that it actually told us, hey, the momentum shifting, the market is going to potentially sell off here very soon, and sure enough, it did. And then lastly, the correction in December. This one actually occurred below the zero line, but very steep slope, the MACD cross there, and you'll see that it didn't quite catch it at the top, but did a really nice job warning us that there was a sell-off looming, okay? So that's the power of this one indicator in terms of predictive value, right? So this actually told us ahead of time that there was a potential shift in momentum about to occur, and it did, and it caught it every time, right? And again, this doesn't just apply to these market corrections in 2018. We can go back decades and find many, many examples of how this helps predict market sell-offs. So that's all well and good. And you can see that there are many, many other crosses on this chart, right? There's an easier way to find these, because the problem is that the lines are confusing, right? So some of them are obvious. The ones that we saw in the corrections last year were relatively obvious. But then you get periods like this where the lines are very close together and they're horizontal, and the crosses are very difficult to read, especially in live trading. It's relatively easy to go back and look at past crosses and how they perform. But if you're trying to use this information in live trading, it becomes pretty difficult. So this is very confusing. So I'm going to show you guys an easier way to do this. It's called the MACD histogram. All right, so the histogram is much easier to interpret. And by the way, this one is also available in virtually every retail trading platform. Look how much easier that is. When the histogram goes red, we sell. When it goes green, we buy. It's that simple. And when we look at this on a chart here in just a second, it's going to become much more clear to you where the trend is either continuing or shifting in the market, regardless of what market it is, right? Whether it's stocks, futures, Forex, or options. That's the beauty of it. It's universal. So let's look at it in action. Okay, so this is a chart of Momo, stock Momo, ticker MOMO. And look what happens when the histogram goes from red to green. It tells us to buy, and there's the momentum shift. It's the trend is now going to go up. And then when it goes from green to red, we sell. Look at that nice move we would have caught. And then it goes from red to green again. We can buy into the market, and Momo continues to go up. And then it turns red, and what happens? The stock sells off for a few days, right? The momentum caught that before it happened, and we get out. And then it goes from red to green again, and we can enter and buy again. But look at the accuracy of that and how easy it is to read on your chart. Pretty incredible. And you can go back and look at these events as far back as you want, and you'll find many, many examples of how the MACD was able to predict trends and momentum shifts and momentum continuations with incredible accuracy. Now I'm going to give you another trick here. You can use a special type of order in combination with this technique, with this indicator, to confirm the momentum. It's called a buy stop or sell stop order. How many people have used a buy stop or sell stop order in their trading? A lot of people just use limit orders or market orders. How many of you guys have used a buy stop or a sell stop order? Yeah, a few of you have used those. So the buy stop order is used to enter a long trade. So if you get a buy signal, or the MACD is, in other words, telling you the market's about to go up, we use a buy stop order to enter the long trade. So we get that extra confirmation. We put our order in above the bar where the MACD shift occurs. And then conversely, if we're setting up for a short trade, we use a sell stop order to enter short trades. And this helps filter out all the false signals, not all the false signals, but a lot of the false signals. The ones that don't work out where the MACD gives us a false signal, then it helps keep us out a lot of those. And it improves our consistency and helps increase profitability. So that's just another little trick. You can use those order types in combination with the MACD indicator to confirm momentum. So this is a technique I use in my own trading. Now here's the cool thing. When you can combine and you formulate the right set of momentum indicators together, you get a synergistic effect. And if you combine them with volatility studies and price action setups like I just showed you using the buy stop and sell stop orders, you can actually do a lot better than the MACD alone, believe it or not. The MACD does a pretty good job, right? We just looked at that in all four of the market corrections in 2018. But you can actually do much, much better than the MACD alone. And it works great with options. I'm sure we have a lot of options traders on with us today. So if you combine these momentum indicators in the right way, look how much more accurate it becomes. The red diamond with the red arrows shows that the diamond is telling us, okay, there's a potential sell-off, and then using the sell stop order, the red arrow shows that the trade was triggered, that the confirmation was there to get into a short trade or to buy puts or whatever market strategy you use to implement that to take advantage of these moves. And look how much more accurate it is. It catches it near the top of these moves before they occur, right? So that's the predictive quality. These aren't anomalies. And not only does it work for these sell-offs, the green diamond tells us the momentum is about to shift to the upside. The market's about to go up. Okay, and again, this is a daily chart of the S&P 500. I think I neglected to mention that. The green diamonds tell us, okay, the market's about to go up. We use the buy stop order, and we get in, and we have, look at all these incredibly accurate trade setups, right? Catching these moves near the top and the bottom. So focus on that right sell-off in December. For you options traders out there, if you had just bought 10 at the money put options on this one signal alone, nearly $10,000 in profit before commissions and fees. Pretty incredible, right? That's what's possible using options to make money in the markets with the momentum indicators that I've talked to you guys about today. So pretty incredible stuff. I'm going to show you a few more screenshots of my live account. This is specifically from the December market correction. When my momentum indicators told me, hey, Jeff, the market's going to potentially be selling off here. I'm going to implement a short strategy. I shorted a lot of the futures contracts, and these aren't anything crazy in terms of position size. These are all just one contract trades. I typically, again, have 5 to 10 trades on at a time, but I was able to short the E-mini S&Ps, the E-mini NASDAQ, the E-mini S&P mid caps, and look at what's possible. You know, guys, this is just in that December sell-off, over $13,000 in a single day, over $3,600 in a single day, over $4,000 in a single day using this technique. So it is very powerful. It is predictive. I've been using it to make really good profits in the markets, and it works very well. So here's my promise to you guys. I want to help you have days just like these, and I'm going to coach you on exactly how I do it, okay? So I've given you some really good information using the MACD by itself, but I want to take it further. I want to take it further, and I want to show you guys exactly how I have days like these using other momentum indicators and other techniques in multiple markets, not just the futures market like I showed you, but it works very well with options, stocks, and Forex. So this is a one-time opportunity to join me to discover how I make large amounts of money in the markets day after day, week after week. I call it my Trade Trend Mastermind Group. So this is a private group of select traders who we meet on a regular basis. We hold live trade sessions. I teach this group how to use my techniques, my indicators, to help predict market momentum shifts and continuations with incredible accuracy. So I'm going to reveal every one of my special techniques and indicators that make profits like this possible. And I don't hold anything back. I give you guys all the tools that you need in order to have days just like this in your own trading. So here's what you get with my Trade Trend Mastermind Group. You get live trade sessions. So we meet on a fairly regular basis. We don't meet every single week, but on most weeks we do hold live trade sessions. And these are all recorded, by the way. So if you do have a full-time job, or you or maybe you're retired and you want to go out and be on the golf course, or traveling with your family, or whatever you like to do during the day, these are all held in the evening, and they're all recorded. So if you aren't able to make one, or you have a full-time job, no problem. We do record these. We hold them in the evenings, and they go right into our member section for you to view at your leisure. You can watch it as many times as you want. We don't take them down. So they're all available to you. We hold those, and then you also get one-on-one coaching. So I coach, you know, and I don't have one of my trainers coach you. I'm actually the one I'm the trader, and I'm the one coaching you guys on on how to become consistent, more profitable traders. So you get one-on-one coaching from me. You also get exclusive invitation-only Facebook group access. So if you don't use Facebook, not a big deal. This isn't really a necessary tool to have, because you are going to get access to our members forum through our online portal, so you don't need to have Facebook. But if you do use Facebook, it's a great tool to use to interact with our other members. And then I'm also going to teach you guys trade adjustments to fix losing trades. So we all have losing trades, right? So I'm no exception there. I have losing trades. You saw a few of them there in my live account screenshots. But the key is, how do we manage these? And I have some really incredible techniques that I teach for stocks, options, futures, and Forex that can actually help turn around some of those losing trades. It doesn't work 100% of the time. Nothing does in trading, but it's pretty remarkable how many of these trades that may have otherwise been a losing trade, that we're able to actually use certain special techniques to turn them around with a couple little tweaks we call trade adjustments, and turn them into profitable trades. So I teach that as well in our members meetings, and they're in our members forum as well. And again, all markets, stocks, futures, Forex, and options. And so you get signals for all of those markets. And I'm also going to give you a list of my most profitable tickers to trade. So I share with you everything that I use in my own personal trading. All right, so I just want to kind of give you an idea of what my Trade Trend Mastermind group is doing versus the MACD alone, because I made a strong case, I think, for how powerful that one indicator is at predicting market momentum shifts and continuations. But I want to kind of show you a comparison. So again, this is a daily chart of the S&P 500, the SPY, and this is where I don't have the indicator plotted on this particular chart, but this is where the MACD said, okay, there was recently a reversion to the mean there, to the 50-day moving average, and now momentum has shifted back to the upside, and the MACD didn't quite catch it at the bottom of that shift, but it did a pretty good job of saying, hey, momentum is picking up, and there's a good chance that the price will continue to move up in the near future. And sure enough, it did. The trend resumed and continued to go up. So got some good forewarning there that, hey, let's implement a strategy. Let's buy some that's going to take advantage. Let's buy some calls. Let's do a vertical call spread. Let's buy the E-mini S&P futures. Whatever market you're following, there's a lot of different strategies we could have implemented here, and we coach on all of those markets. But here's what my Trade Trend members were able to do, where they were able to get in using the combination of momentum indicators that we implement, okay? So they were able to get in an entire week before the MACD told us the market momentum was shifting back to the upside, right? So look at the difference there and timing in terms of getting in before the trend resumes, okay? Before that momentum shift occurs, okay? And then the momentum indicators told us the market momentum slowing, it's losing steam, and sure enough, the next 4 days it moved sideways and really moved down a little bit before the resumption of the uptrend. So what does this mean in dollar terms? Well, if you're an options trader, using the MACD indicator by itself, if you had just bought 10 at the money options contracts, you would have had a decent profit there over that 4 or 5 day period of around $335 before commissions and fees. Not too bad. But my Trade Trend Mastermind group members, using a combination of momentum indicators, could have made a profit of nearly $5,000 before commissions and fees on that momentum shift. So that's the difference that combination of momentum indicators makes. And it's the difference in the training that you get with my Trade Trend Mastermind group relative to using the MACD indicator as a standalone, right? And so the difference is incredible when you look at it in dollar terms. Both of these trades would have gotten out at that same point there where you see the red circle, but the difference is getting in earlier before these trends set in. All right, here's the cool thing. It works in all markets, it works in all time frames, and it works with any size account. So don't think that just because you have a small account that you can't use these techniques, or if you're just an options trader or you're just a futures trader, you know, it works in all markets. And I don't day trade. I trade in the day, again, because I want to have free time to do what I want with my day. But we have a lot of students who day trade, and we have people trading all the way down to tick charts, but it doesn't work in virtually any time frame. So let's take a look at that. This is a daily chart of ETF that I trade on my own. It's called the Daily Small Cap Bull ETF. The ticker is TNA. And these are signals that the momentum indicators pinpointed where the market momentum was shifting or the trend momentum was continuing. And this is just based on buying shares of the TNA. We're not looking at options trades right now, but this is just buying 1,000 shares of the TNA or shorting 1,000 shares of the TNA when the momentum indicators told us the market was going to be shifting momentum. But look at what's possible here, guys, and look at the accuracy of those buy and sell signals. That's the sell-off there that we're looking at on the right in December of last year. Over $14,000 in profit on this one move alone, right? So pretty incredible stuff. And then that last trade, man, it caught that thing right at the bottom. The indicators told us the market momentum shifting back to the upside after that steep sell-off, caught it practically at the bottom, and set up a really nice trade into 2019, profit of nearly $9,000 before commissions and fees on 1,000 shares. So that's what's possible. So this is a daily chart, nearly $40,000 over 6 trades before commissions and fees on just these trade examples alone. This is an hourly chart for you day traders out there. So I'm just going to run through these real quick. We have limited times today, but look at the accuracy of these signals where the momentum is shifting, and it catches these with an incredible degree of accuracy near tops and bottoms of these demand points and supply points in the market. All right. So pretty incredible. It works on other time frames very well also. So I want to give you guys a special tool, access to a special tool, and I'll tell you guys how you can get access to it here in just a second. That'll cut the learning curve, and you can start trading like a pro as early as tomorrow. So this is a really cool tool that I'm going to give a select few of you complimentary access to. And so if you want to get started as early as tomorrow, you can. But again, we teach all of these techniques in our members area with the Trade Trend Mastermind members group, and we're going to teach you the inner workings of these techniques, but I'm also going to give you a special tool that allows you to do it with virtually no legwork. And then we also hold live trade sessions, like I mentioned. So we're actually holding our first one tomorrow, Thursday, April 11th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. I want you guys to be able to get in on this. We'll be sending out an announcement on how to get access to this later today. I'll pop that back up on the screen here in just a second. I just want to go back to the bonus again. So this is the Trade Trend Signal software. If you guys join my Trade Trend Mastermind group today, you're going to get 3 months of complimentary access to the signals. So if you want to get started as early as tomorrow, you can do that. The Trade Trend software lets you get in before the MACD signal. It includes the proprietary blend of momentum indicators that can produce nearly instant profits. It predicts short-term and long-term trends with astounding accuracy. Cool thing again is it works with stocks, futures, forex options. You can screen for trades in seconds. I really love the screener that comes along with it, because even if you are relatively new to trading, you can set up that screen quickly and you can screen across multiple markets just with the click of a mouse, and it works in any time frame. You can also backtest to see the results before you place a trade, and you can use it to supercharge your option strategies. So whether you're just buying straight calls or puts, or maybe you're doing credit spreads or iron condors or butterflies, it's a great tool to help supercharge those strategies, and it lets you trade like a pro without any guesswork involved. So here's what it looks like. This is a signal screenshot for Micron Technology, ticker MU, and I just picked out a random signal there in the middle of the chart. This one produced a profit of a little over $3,500 on only 1,000 shares traded before broker commissions and fees. But the cool thing is it tells you exactly where to buy or where to sell. In this case, it's a long setup. It gives you the entry price. It tells you what type of order to use, the buy stop order. And it tells you where not to enter the trade if the price gaps up or down by a certain amount. And then it tells you where to place your trailing stop. So it gives you all the information you need to get up and running very quickly. Again, we teach all of this in our member section, but it really spoon feeds it to you in a simple, easy to read format. So then this again are a group of 5 consecutive trades. I wanted to share these real quick because this is also on Micron, ticker MU. These occurred during that really rough period in the market last year from October to December. So we had one little loser in there, but if you had just traded the stock, over $13,000 in profit on 1,000 shares before commissions and fees. For you options traders out there, if you had bought puts or calls, just very simple option strategies, nearly $7,000 in profits on these signals. Again, just 5 trades from October 22nd through the end of December during that really bumpy market period. So this works very well in many market conditions, which is one of the beautiful things behind it. All right, we've just got a few minutes left. Just want to ask you guys a few quick questions. If you're able to avoid the next market crash and even make money from it, how much would that be worth to you? I want you to think about that. If you're able to trade the next recession like a professional, how much would that be worth to you? Finally, if you had an experienced coach guide you through the next downturn, how much would that be worth to you? Okay, those are very important questions to ask yourself as I show you the opportunity to get into my Trade Trend Mastermind group, where you get live trade sessions, which we hold on a fairly regular basis, roughly 3 to 4 times per month, $550 value, one-on-one coaching, and direct from me, guys, $19.97 value. You get exclusive invitation-only Facebook access to our Facebook group, and $199 value. Learn trade adjustments to fix losing trades. That's a $900 value. You learn to trade stocks, futures, forex, and options with consistency. You get 3 months of my complimentary trade trend signals, like I just showed you guys. That's a $450 value. And it's all for a one-time membership fee, lifetime private access. It never goes away. You're a member of our group for life. We sell this package for $4,096 if you were to get all of this stuff on its own. We're not even going to touch that today. We set up a very special offer for you guys, and it's, again, a one-time membership fee. And you'll be able to join our first live trading session tomorrow, Thursday, April 11th at 7 p.m. Eastern. And we're going to give you all this for just a one-time $997, okay? That's all. You get lifetime access to everything we've talked about today. And then on top of that, the first 20 people who join us get another gift valued at $700, okay? So that's our professional trading series 13-module trading course that covers stocks, futures, forex, options. It covers all of those markets, and it also covers how to make trade adjustments to losing trades. It's over 9 hours of content. It's all online, and you can watch it at your leisure, okay? So please be one of the first 20. I want you guys to get access to that. It's worth its weight in gold by itself. All you have to do to join, go to tradetrend.com/wealth365, and you can join us today. That one-time membership fee gives you lifetime access to me and to our trading group, okay? So here's my guarantee. If you don't make money in the first 90 days, I'm gonna give you another 90 days of signals at no cost, okay? That's my promise to you. I'm that confident in what we have to teach you, and I'm confident that you're gonna do well with what we have to teach. So what are a few of our members saying? I'm just gonna throw up some of these real quick. We're running out of time here, but I want you guys to see what some of our members are saying. Craig, at the last one on there, says, my first trade paid for the entire package. Nothing ever works for me this fast. I wish I would have found you guys last year before the big market dips, right? And so Craig's one of our valuable members of the Trade Trend Mastermind group, and he's doing much, much better with his trading. Okay, so it only takes one trade, guys. One winning trade could pay for your lifetime membership to my Trade Trend Mastermind group. But being prepared for the next market correction, it's around the corner, guys. The market's gonna crash again. I want you guys to be ready for it, to have days like this, like I'm showing you from my live account screenshots, where I was able to take advantage of these market sells. Just go to tradetrend.com/wealth365. Okay, I'm gonna throw up one of my favorite quotes here. The secret to getting ahead is getting started. It's a Mark Twain quote, and it's so true, guys. If you don't get started, you're just not gonna get ahead. And I want to help you guys do that. I'm going to hold your hand and help you guys become more consistent, profitable traders. We ran out of time. I apologize. I'm not going to probably be able to answer Q&A. We'll see if they allow me, but if not, you can send us questions to support@thetradingprofit.com, or you can call our toll-free number 800-895-9348. I would urge you just go ahead and get started. We are limiting our membership to the first 40 members today. I coach everybody personally, so I can't take on hundreds of members, unfortunately, all at one time. I want to give you guys personal attention, so we are limiting it to 40. I hope you guys are one of the 40 that join us today. tradetrend.com/wealth365. So the last real question is it worth investing a few minutes of your time to check this out? Even if it only does half of what I've claimed today on the session, it could potentially pay for itself 10 times over your first year alone. So go to tradetrend.com/wealth365. Here again is everything you get with the package. It's over a $4,000 value for only a one-time $997 membership fee. tradetrend.com/wealth365. I look forward to seeing you guys on our first live session tomorrow, Thursday, April 11th at 7 p.m. Eastern. Thanks everybody for joining. I hope you got a lot out of the presentation today. I'm going to go ahead and pass it back over to you guys.